We are going to add a action method to the employee controller. And then we are going to add another route to our route config file for the employee controller. So I'm going to close some of these extra tabs and just kind of focus on the employee controller. And right below my index action method, I am going to add my new one. And for the return data type, we are going to use content result, which is basically string data. And so we're calling this search. And we are going to have a string with the name parameter. I'm going to create a little variable here, and we are going to clean name. And because we are grabbing this from the URL, we are using HTML encode. Okay, and because this was content result, we're doing a return on content. And we are returning what we stored in our input variable. So it's just basically going to be displayed on the screen. Okay, so again, we're using HTTP utility.encode because we are bringing in parameter data. We would use the server HTML encode if we were using forms. Okay, so content result is a little different than action result. Action result, we're actually going to a view. Content result, we are returning content. Okay, and the content happens to be a string, and we stored it in a input variable. So that's what we are displaying. So we're going to save this. And right now, if we want to run this, we can go ahead so you can see. So we would have to do /employee, which is our controller, search, question mark, name equals, and then whatever we want to search for. Okay, so we have to key all that in. And we're going to make a little tweak in route config so that we don't have to do the name or the question mark name equal business. So we are going to go into app start and we're going to open up route config. And we did take a look at this last week, just kind of to refresh your memory. This is the default route. And the reason when we launch that it goes to the home controller and the index view is because we have the index action method specified here. So we're going to keep this on the bottom because that is the default. Okay? And we're just going to add a new one above it. In fact, if you don't like to type, you can actually copy this one. Paste it. Okay, so we're overloading route.maproute. And for this one, we have got employee, which is our route. So we're going to change this a little bit. Okay, and then our URL, and if you want to put in comments, you can. And then you'll notice that you don't have to do the URL colon, you can just tell it. Employee slash name is our parameter. And this was URL with parameters. And then we've got new controller equal employee. Action equal. So our action method is search. And then instead of ID, and this is why ID is the default, okay? We are using name. And then we want to keep the URL parameter dot optional. Okay, and this was a parameter default. Okay, so let's save this. And this is going to impact what we have to enter in the URL. Okay, because now we're not going to have to do employee slash search question mark name equals. Okay, we'll just be able to do employee slash and then enter the name we want to search on. So it basically is going to shorten up our URL. And I'm going to run this. So we can now do employee slash, and then instead of doing the search question mark name equals business, we can just key in the name. Okay, and that is because we changed route config. So when we keyed in that name, it automatically knew, oh, I've got to go to search. Oh, this parameter is name, and it handled it.